So we are back with another Doc the Journey. It has been 2 months since the last one, which is absolutely nuts. Especially as I say every time, we're going to do it every week, but I'm going to get into that because we have a new update coming in terms of our target for this year with kind of this documentation process and whatnot. But I want to use this video to kind of recap on goals and targets for the upcoming year, of course, as we're into 2026. And as well as that, just a reflection on 2025 as a whole, as we enter into this new year. Obviously, this is something people tend to do at the start of a new year, but I'm kind of just getting to know. But that's fine. That's the way I roll. So yeah, these are off the cuff and on the fly, which really makes them more authentic. But yeah, anyways, we are into 2026, which is nuts to say. And it really feels like a fresh start, in my opinion. And maybe that's not just to do with the start of a new year, but it's to do with a lot of other factors and reasons which I'll get into. But we are at the start of 2026. It is currently January 12th at 9 p.m. here in Marbella, Spain. I spent the end of last month in Dubai in Ireland, which was amazing, and left Marbella at the end of November, and got back out here a week ago into my new apartment out here in my new office currently, which probably looks similar to other videos, but it's actually a different setup. And yeah, why not just show it around, different setup and whatnot, monitor and everything there. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. I'm recording this on a bit of a toaster, by the way. It's doing it over a Loom camera as I run out of SD on this. But yeah, looking back in 2025, it was the best year of my life by far. But it was a roller coaster. It was an absolute roller coaster. From the network I made, the connections I made, traveling the world, the people I met, the relationships I made, and more. It was absolutely nuts. And I did my usual kind of looking back over the years. Like I do a Google Doc every year, kind of breaking down how the year went or whatnot. And it was an incredible year. Like, just looking over the Google Doc from last year, from all the places we went, the success we had, the people we met, and more. It was just like, it was that year. 2024 for me was like, left college, moved to Spain, had the initial first traction. 2025 was things really took up and moved with speed from a business perspective, from a network perspective, from a travel perspective, and more. And it was everything I could have ever hoped for. It really was. That said, we also obviously ran into some of the most hardest business problems, which I was not expecting to occur last year. Like, at all. It was the last thing on my mind. We had the most success ever in a short period of time, and then the biggest issues and problems that were dealt with and more. And that obviously added a lot to the year. There was a lot of stressful months last year. There really and truly was. Things that I never expected to happen. But they're part of the game. And as I said, like, that's just it. Tough shit happened. You get it and you move on. And that's exactly what I've done tenfold and moved at the speed of light into the next part of my life. But yeah, like from a business perspective, because that's what a lot of these are about, is obviously Q1 for me was huge. Q1 was really, I think, what I'm seeing the fruition of it now, truly. Q1 for me was the initial stage of actually like building out a team, growing a company, moving like extremely fast in a growth perspective, dealing with a lot of people at once, dealing with a lot of pressure, a lot of team, a lot of like payroll and more. And obviously we scaled rapidly in Q1. We got to 120 grand a month in March, and then we slowly started to climb from that, but still kept some numbers. And then summertime, things started to hit the fan a bit, as everyone knows from that video, which is probably my most viewed video. And we started to change up offers and switch things up. And then August came and we kind of wrapped up what we were doing, cancelled with the team. And really in the last, like that's everything that happened, like during that, like Q1, after Q1, Q2, Q3, with those problems and issues or whatnot. Then come Q4, this is where things got a bit interesting. So I obviously had stopped doing what I was doing before, and I started doing kind of a new offer over September, October, November, and kind of kept up the documenting to an extent, started building out a team again, bringing on different team members or whatnot. And I was very, very confident in that offer that we were going to push. That was the offer. I was very confident we were going to clean $1 million with it in like 8 to 12 months, let's say. But the more and more I did it, I just did not have any alignment to it. I did not enjoy what we were doing. I didn't want to keep pushing it and scaling it. There wasn't a motivation to keep pushing it and scaling it. And as an update in terms of where we are right now, currently business wise, I wrapped up that offer and stopped pushing it and promoting it and putting ads to it in the end of November. How that came about was I was in Dubai at dinner with a mentor of mine, and we sat down at a conversation. We were just speaking, and he's very good at like just, this man loves business, like it's all he wants to talk about. And we just sat down and he just started asking me questions, and we kept going deeper in the questions and deeper in the questions. And at the end of it, it was nearly me sitting there miserable, realizing that I hate what I was doing. I hate what the business and the operation I was running. Not hate's a strong word, but like I was making a lie to myself in terms of what we were doing and how far it could go and the power and the potential of it. And once I left that dinner, I went home, I turned off our ads, and I made a decision and said, I'm not doing this. And I don't want to do this because number one, it wasn't serving me. Number two, it wasn't what I expected it to be in terms of like the potential to scale it, the delivery for clients. I thought it was going to be a lot more enjoyable working with different types of companies than we were used to more, and it just wasn't. I didn't enjoy it, and it took sitting down with someone and realizing that to do it. And one point I want to note is I look back on last year and all the growth and all the lessons as like a catalyst and just like me speeding up through what I could have realized in 2 years. In this period of 12 months, I think I learned and I got exposed to what may take people 5 years to get exposed to at a rapid speed of light. And that came with stress, that came with pressure, that came with some fucking long nights. But that said, it'll pay off, and it's already paying off, and I'm seeing that today. So yeah, that's how I view that. And like, if I had sat down with him, let's say in a year before, and it was something else along those lines, I probably would have ignored it because I hadn't gone through those periods of learning. And one thing I've learned to do is take immediate and quick action when you see it. So I immediately stopped doing things. I didn't continue to do what I knew I didn't have alignment with and wasn't the right thing to be doing. And I'm blessed that I went through that learning to be able to understand that, because in the past, I've dragged things out. I've continued trying to do things knowing in the back of my mind they're probably not good, and then just wrapping them up and looking back and saying I should have stopped doing that 2 months ago. So I was able to immediately make that decision. I'm fucking blessed to be able to say that. So where are we at right now? That's the big, great question. So my intentions in November and December, I was sitting around and I was like, I want to do something big, and I want to do something like that. You know, it's not just like normal. It's like, it's different. I'm not talking about the next Facebook, but like something innovative or something else along those lines. And I was very bullish on doing something like that. Let's say something out of the box that other people don't do. And that's what I was kind of looking into. And I was like, I want to do something along those lines. And what my plan was is like have a side business that kind of makes cash flow, makes money, and I can then work on the bigger project that I want to work on. But then after about like 14 days and kind of midway into December, pretty much I realized that that's not what I want to do. I don't actually care about that right now. And it's just being honest. It's like, I don't really give a shit about changing the world right now and doing something crazy and big and put my name in the newspaper. I don't. I'm 22 years of age. I want to make as much money as I possibly can, and that's absolutely fine. And that will open up doors to then be able to do the bigger thing, do the bigger project, do the thing that gives maybe more fulfillment and enjoyment from, and puts a name to my name or something else along those lines, if you want to say. But I don't need to do that when I'm 22. I don't need to make $10 million this year. I don't. And that's okay. And that's fine. And I think that's one thing to really accept is like, there's a path to this. And coming into this year, I've actually restructured how I've set out my goals. Because before, when I set out my goals, I had to set like the most stupidly big goals that were like really difficult to hit just for the sake of having them there. But this year round, I've looked at my like fitness goals, my business goals, and everything like that. And I'm like, I've set them pretty big and strong goals, but they're not like mind blowing or out of this world, and that's fine. And like, I don't see anything wrong with that at the end of the day, because if I achieve all of them, I'm in a super good place come next year, and then I compound on that. And one thing I realized is like, if I just worked on like my pillars of life and improve them every year, which for me is health and fitness, business and net worth, relationships, and then like some other factors as well, then by the time I'm 25, I'm in an incredible place, like incredible. And I think people try and just like overcomplicate this, and They live everything month to month and week to week. Is like, no. So that last year allowed me to kind of realize that everything doesn't need to be a million X every year to be hyper successful. It doesn't. And that said, I still haven't a full year under my belt of like running a super successful agency or company consistently without the same problems I had last year. So why am I trying to jump the gun? And that's exactly what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to run something consistently, make a lot of money doing it, and then let's see where we get next year. Cool, amazing. So right now, that side business that I was going to kind of go into was going to be going back to doing lead gen for the same types of companies that we were working with before. And that was going to be the side business because in my head I was like, that's a step back. If I go back and do what I was doing before, I need to be doing something newer. I need to be doing something bigger and flashier and everything like that. But then as I started to get into it and doing it, I was like, I love this. I really love this. And I made the decision in December that, no, I'm going to take Lead Prediction, the company that it was, and I'm going to rebuild it in the exact same industries and everything that we were doing before. Not make the same mistakes I made before from an offer perspective. I'm not going too complicated here, but I want this to serve the masses. Not make the same problems and mistakes as we did before that led and created to the problems and issues, and do it 10 times better and 10 times bigger. And that is exactly what we are doing. So in December, I went back into lead gen and I took everything I learned from before. From acquiring customers to building sales teams to launching ad funnels to managing teams and more, and went balls to the wall and went all at it. And that is exactly what we have done. We launched our ads probably a month ago, and right now we have closer, setter, closer SDR, don't like the word setter, head of fulfillment, CSM, bring on another CSM, and looking to bring on fractional COO in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I took all my experience that I did before and went headfirst into it. And the only reason we've been able to grow as fast as we have right now, we're currently sitting on around like 35 clients we've signed in the last month. I will be transparent, they are performance-based clients. That's what we were doing for now. We're doing performance-based marketing. We get paid on results, but we're so confident in the results that we can deliver. And the majority of those clients are paying anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 a month. So you can do the math on that. But the only reason we've been able to grow as fast as we have in the last month is because of everything I did last year. When it didn't seem like it was working and I was launching ads into offers and funnels and building funnels for things that actually didn't pan out in the end. All that knowledge, when applied to the correct vertical now, is why we're ripping so fast. So it's funny, it's like it all just comes together. It always does. I can't wait to look back in a year and be like, all the times I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And just laugh because I'm like, it all panned out. It all worked out. And yeah, that's what we're doing right now. We're back in lead gen. We're back doing cold email for local service companies, which it's a simple business model. It's not a flashy business model. And that's okay because it can make a lot of money. And I'm going to make a lot of money this year and I can't wait to. But it doesn't need to be super flashy. I can build the next Facebook when I'm 25 and 30 if I want to, and that's okay. And I'm going to take a year and focus on one business, one solution, not overcomplicate it, throw the absolute balls to the wall and everything at it, and massively succeed as a result. And I can't wait, and we are firing right now. Right now, in the last 2 weeks, is the best I have felt in probably 6 to 8 months of business. Back in control, back leading a team, back with a vision and a goal. It feels fucking incredible, and I missed it. I missed it so much. So much. I love the game now. I love this game, this infinite game, and I'm so excited for the rest of the year and this quarter specifically. We are going so hard. We are going everything at it, and it is amazing. I am back in Spain, back in Marbella, back in my own place, my own office, and I have a point to prove to myself. Big time. I have a point to prove to myself. I'm my biggest doubter, my biggest hater, and I have a point to prove to myself, and I'm going to go and do exactly that, tenfolds. I've set the goal of $2 million this year is what I want to clear. That's a big number. That's big. That's actually less than I set out last year as a context, because now I'm more informed as to how to set my goals. But that is still a big, lofty goal. And yeah, that's where we're at right now. That is our goals for 2026, to clear $2 million in revenue. I want to hit our first 200K month in April. Even though I don't like to put things on a pedestal overall, that's a general goal that we're working towards. And we're going pretty strongly towards it. I can't wait for all the problems that are going to come as you grow and you scale. The problems that, once again, we already forecast happening and we're aware of them happening because I've done it before. Our team has done it before. It's been involved in these things before. Like, we're 10 steps ahead of the game this time. We foresee these things coming, which is amazing. And I've never been more confident about what we're doing in such a long time. So yeah, this is going to be a big year. It really, really is. And I am so hyped and so excited for everything that's going to come. I've set my fitness goals, sub 110 high rock solo, sub hour high rocks doubles. I'm going to pull up my Google Doc that I made for myself to start the year, which I do every year, and I would advise everybody to do. Recap your year, go through every single quarter, put pictures and images from the year to remind yourself, set out all your goals in your different, I can tell you right now, my different sections. Recap your year, go through everything, add photos to it and everything, so you really remember everything you did in the year, because you forget. Like, you sit down to do these things, you could be in a bad mood from the day, and then you go and you break everything down, you're like, wow, what a fucking year. And that's exactly what happened to me. Then break down your 2026. And a big thing in my 2026 was saying, if my 2026 looks like last year, minus a few problems and improving on a lot of other items, it is going to be a brilliant year. I don't need to do something drastically different. I don't need to live in a new country or just like unnecessarily create stress and pain. If I stay consistent for the next 5 years, my life is going to be amazing. I'm going to be in an incredible place, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Like, for example, here, one thing I literally wrote down is, we have done so much in all of these areas and I want you to grow them. But for example, you don't need to make $10 million this year. You don't need to live in a brand new country. You don't need to travel to a million new countries. You don't need to run a sub-hour solo high rocks, and you don't need to become a philosopher in your mind. You can just get better at your mindset and everything like this. Like, you don't have to become the best this year at everything. You don't. Look to improve, but you don't have to just be the next Zuckerberg overnight. Outside of that, some of the key goals I've set: 2 million gross revenue from lead prediction. I want to do $200,000 in just general other consulting. Sub 110 high rocks solo. I want, also, this is the big one, I want to do 1 YouTube video per week for 52 weeks. That is a big goal of mine. And I've already missed that because we're on the 14th of Jan, but I'll catch it up, don't worry. 1 YouTube video per week for 52 weeks. This was another thing. Last year I set this goal of like 10K on Instagram and this on YouTube. I haven't done anything like that this year. I put an input in. 1 YouTube video per week for 52 weeks. I want to do a lot more of my personal brand on Instagram, on different platforms, but I'm not sure what that's going to look like right now. And you don't need to, at the start of the year, perfectly plan out exactly what everything is going to look like, because you don't know what this is going to look like. You don't just sit down on December 31st and say like, this is exactly what the year is going to look like, because shit happens, shit changes. And that's okay, and that's fine, because at the end of the day, just because you write something on December 31st, you still have to do so much to actually make any of that happen. So keep that in mind as well when you're setting your goals. So that's some of my goals, and then outside of that, there's a few other smaller goals, personal goals, which I'm going to keep to myself here. And yeah, as I said, I base off my main KPIs: business, health and fitness, network and relationships, and just overall fulfillment in life. One other point I wanted to note on as I kind of think back when I wrote through this doc was like, when I sat down at the end of the year, and I was like, what a year. If you said to me, like, what was making me feel like what a year, it wasn't like, obviously success in business and everything is a huge driver. It's all I think about all day, the majority of the time. I'm like completely frank and transparent on that. But realistically, what actually gave me the fulfillment at the end of the year was like looking at all the photos and the travel from the year, the people I'd met, the friendships I'd made, the relationship with my family, relationship with everybody else in my life, the person I actually am, how healthy and fit I was. And if those things were out of whack, no matter how much money I made, if I had another 100 grand in the bank or another 200 grand in the bank, whatever it was, it wouldn't have actually hit. That difference wouldn't have made me sit down at the end of the year and be like, wow, amazing, that's great. Like, the fulfillment came from everything else. I'm not saying I'm not optimizing for those things. I fucking am, don't worry. But that's where the true fulfillment came from. So yeah, that's just kind of like 2026 overview, what we're looking at for the year. It is going to be an incredible year. It's already been an amazing start to the year. Oh my God, it has. New apartment, new place, new friends, everything like this. Same friends as well, of course, because you don't need to change your whole circle every year just for the sake of doing it. Like, stay consistent and grow. And yeah, just feeling very blessed right now. Very happy with where I'm at in life, where everything is, and looking forward to doubling down. Last year was a roller coaster every year across all fronts, and I'm so blessed for it, for everything that happened, the ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights, because once again, I am playing the infinite game. This is a game of life. I'm going to be doing business. It's not like I'm just doing 1 year of business and 1 year of being fit and healthy. I'm playing the game of life here. So if we can just play the game of life over a long enough time frame, life's going to be pretty fucking good. So yeah, I think that's everything I really wanted to chat through on this. You're going to see a video per week from me. I'm not sure what the exact format's going to look like. Is it going to be more business focused stuff, just doc the journey stuff? I'm not sure. People like to see me yap and talk off the dome, so I'm not going to ignore that, but I'd like to add some more value in different areas as well. So yeah, content's coming this year, I can tell you that. It's going to be a good year. It's already going to be a good year. Every year is a good year. Every day is a good day. Every single day. So yeah, I have big goals. I've set out big goals and I'm working towards them every single day. And yeah, I'll achieve everything I ever wanted. I know that. I truly do. And I'm super blessed where we're at right now. So yeah, I'm going to leave that there. We're 21 minutes in. Pretty good. When I yap, I love it. And yeah, we'll see you next week or the end of this week, whatever it is. But time to rock and roll, baby. We got work to do. Ciao.